Google just made its most aggressive move yet in the race for artificial intelligence, and it's not just about chatbots. It's about taking over your phone, your search, your Gmail, your entire digital life. This is Gemini AI, and it's not what you think. Gemini isn't just a smarter version of Google Assistant. It's Google's plan to embed AI everywhere, across all their products, from YouTube to Maps to Android. And while OpenAI is focused on ChatGPT and Anthropic is building Claude, Google is quietly working on something more powerful and more invisible. So what exactly is Gemini AI? Why does it matter? And how does it compare to Claude and ChatGPT? Let's break it down. Gemini is the name of Google DeepMind's new family of AI models, first announced in late 2023. But in 2025, it evolved into something much bigger. Unlike most AI assistants, Gemini isn't just a chatbot you talk to. It's a fully multimodal model. That means it can understand and respond using not just text, but also images, voice, videos, charts, even live documents. You can show Gemini a photo of a math problem, and it will walk you through the solution step by step. You can ask it to summarize a YouTube video, and it will give you a full breakdown. You can have it read your emails, book appointments, write code, explain scientific papers, or tutor your kids. And it does all this in real time. What's more impressive is how Google is deploying it. Instead of keeping Gemini stuck in a web browser, they've built it into every layer of the Android ecosystem. It powers the new AI features in Android 15. It lives inside Gmail, Docs, Search, YouTube, Google Maps, even your smart TV. Gemini is not just a tool, it's a digital presence, a co-pilot that follows you across devices, quietly helping, predicting, filtering, suggesting, sometimes before you even ask. Now let's talk about what's under the hood. The most recent version, Gemini 1.5, can handle over 1 million tokens of context. That means it can remember huge amounts of information, like the entire content of a 1,500-page book, or track long conversations without forgetting earlier details. That's significantly beyond ChatGPT's free version, and even outpaces Claude 3, which is known for its massive context window and precise reasoning. In fact, Claude from Anthropic was considered the gold standard in thoughtful, safe AI. It's designed to be cautious, constitutional, and reliable, but it's slower to respond and not as deeply integrated into real-world apps. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is faster and more creative, but limited to web interfaces and the occasional plugin integration. Gemini's edge is that it's already baked into the services that billions of people use every day. This means Gemini isn't asking you to change your behavior. It's stepping into what you already do and making it better. So let's compare real-life scenarios. Say you're writing an email in Gmail. Gemini suggests the best subject line, corrects your tone, adds a missing attachment, and even reminds you to respond to another thread. Claude can do that too, but only if you copy-paste your draft into its chat window. Gemini does it live. Or let's say you're watching a complex video on YouTube. Gemini can explain what's happening in real time, define terms, and even summarize the video in text. ChatGPT can try something similar, but not within YouTube itself. You'd have to use a plugin or external tool. And Gemini isn't stopping at screens. Google has confirmed it will roll out Gemini into smartwatches, cars, smart home devices, and more. Imagine your car assistant planning your route, checking traffic, responding to texts, and suggesting restaurants, all powered by Gemini. But of course, this level of integration comes with a price. Critics have raised concerns about privacy. If Gemini is everywhere, it's collecting data from everywhere. Emails, locations, voice commands, browsing history, everything becomes part of the AI's learning context. Google promises this will be handled responsibly, using on-device processing and anonymized training. But let's be honest, Google's business model is still advertising. And the more it knows about you, the better it can target you. Claude, by contrast, was built with privacy and safety at its core. Anthropic limits what Claude sees, how it learns, and how it responds. It's slower, less integrated, but often more careful and transparent. ChatGPT lives somewhere in between. OpenAI has been expanding plugins and memory, but it's still a standalone AI, not embedded into your personal tools. So in many ways, Gemini isn't just a new chatbot, it's the AI equivalent of an operating system. One that sees, hears, reads, and responds to everything you do online. That's what makes it powerful and a little scary. Another key difference, Gemini is being trained directly using Google's own data. Search trends, video metadata, email structures, language habits, billions of real-world data points that ChatGPT and Claude simply don't have access to. That gives Gemini an unfair advantage in personalization, prediction, and even cultural context. But it also raises ethical concerns. How much data is too much? And will users really have control over what Gemini sees and remembers? Still, the potential is enormous. Imagine an AI that doesn't just answer questions, but watches your workflow and makes it better. An AI that helps you write, learn, plan, shop, navigate, and communicate without ever opening a new app. That's the vision Google is building, and they have the hardware, the data, and the user base to make it happen. Claude will remain the safest. ChatGPT may remain the most creative, but Gemini might be the most useful because it's already everywhere. So the question isn't whether Gemini will replace ChatGPT or Claude. The real question is, will you even notice when it takes over? Because if Google gets it right, Gemini won't just be the smartest AI. It will be the most invisible. But there's a new challenger rising on the other side of the world. While Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic dominate the Western AI landscape, China has entered the race with its own contender, DeepSeek AI. Built by Chinese researchers and heavily backed by local tech firms, DeepSeek is an open-source large language model that stunned the global AI community in early 2024. The latest version, DeepSeek V2, offers multilingual capabilities, long context reasoning, and even math problem-solving that rivals top Western models. What makes DeepSeek different is its aggressive transparency and speed. Unlike OpenAI or Anthropic, DeepSeek released full training code, datasets, and model weights, allowing anyone to inspect or build on it. This has made DeepSeek a favorite among open-source developers, researchers, and even governments seeking alternatives to US-based AI infrastructure. Its context window is massive, over 1 million tokens in its experimental versions, and early benchmarks suggest that DeepSeek could match Claude in reasoning and Gemini in multitasking. And it's not just for academic use. DeepSeek is already being integrated into Chinese search engines, customer service platforms, education apps, and government digital tools. So while the West debates AI safety and monetization, China is rapidly deploying its own models at scale. That raises big questions. Will the AI future be split between Western walled gardens and Eastern open platforms? Will Gemini dominate Android users while DeepSeek powers Huawei and Baidu? This global race isn't just about intelligence. It's about access, control, and influence. Back to Gemini. What makes it even more powerful is how quietly it blends into your digital life. Most people using Android 15 today don't even realize that Gemini is already handling suggestions in Gmail, Maps, and even YouTube Shorts captions. Soon, Gemini will auto-summarize entire websites, predict your schedule, and offer real-time feedback while you write, speak, or search. Google is also building a developer platform around Gemini, allowing apps to integrate directly with the model, just like iPhone apps connect with Siri. And the upcoming Pixel 9 phones are rumored to ship with exclusive Gemini features, including on-device AI summarization, real-time call assistance, and AI-powered photography editing that learns your style. All of this positions Gemini as more than just an assistant. It's a layer of intelligence over everything you do, both online and offline. Compare this to Claude. Powerful in reasoning, very safe, but limited to chat-like environments. Claude doesn't live inside your phone. It can't rewrite your email in Gmail or summarize a YouTube video while you watch it. ChatGPT, meanwhile, is growing fast, especially with GPT-4 Turbo and custom GPTs. But it still lives behind a paywall for full access, and it doesn't have the operating system level reach that Google has with Android and Chrome. And DeepSeek? It's fast, smart, and open, but still focused mostly on Chinese infrastructure and developer ecosystems. That leaves Gemini in a unique position. Not the most creative, not the most private, but definitely the most embedded. Google is betting that convenience will win, that if Gemini can help people in small ways, thousands of times a day, it will quietly become the default AI in people's lives, whether they ask for it or not. And that's the real power of Gemini. It's not a product, it's a layer. A layer that watches, predicts, enhances, without demanding your attention. One day you might wake up and realize Gemini has been running your calendar, your email, your commute, your media, and you never once typed hello. That's not science fiction, that's 2025. And the future of AI won't just be about who builds the smartest brain, it will be about who builds the most invisible one.